Hey guys, it's Chris and we're back with another Amiga repair. So here we have an Amiga 1200. This is a 1D with 314 ROMs with questionable labels. Needs caps. She's all original and she has some different mods. It has the some A1200, gives you a USB keyboard ability, a compact flash 44 pin adapter we're going to remove, and it has this cap thing up here. I don't know if that is a timing fix or what. It's going into FB402 on one side and one of the pins from D215. So we're going to put some brand new caps in here. These are all original. They are starting to out. Of course, you know, on an Amiga 1200 C460 here, third one over is never used. So we're going to go Lorena bobbit again, where you just kind of give them the old snip. First things first, a little Q-tip action, isopropyl alcohol, or even the contact cleaner. Just give her a blast here. Little, doesn't need to be a lot. Wipe them down with some Q-tips. Mr. Jack has also requested that I remove the RF modulator, which is what we will be doing next. I'm just giving her a quick lick and a slap here to check for leaky caps. You can always tell a leaky cap, number one, by the residue of poo that's coming across it. Number two, by the color of the solder on the tips. These actually look okay. They're bright silver, no goops. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And we have a floppy drive, blown out capacitor on the back. You know what I gotta do? I gotta write myself some notes because these things keep coming in and I don't know what's wrong with them. 3. Alright. Now, I've shown you here before, as I knock the power cord out of my piece of crap camera, we're going to go all Lorena bobbit here. What is Lorena bobbit? Lorena bobbit is a lady that cut off a man's junk in the 90s. So the trick is just give her a snip and let it pop off. I cut them midway, not like all the way flush, but like halfway. Why? Because you can see here with these squished out caps. Okay, number one, I'll just adjust the board. It makes it so, let me get some pokers here. It makes it so you can pop this off. This is a rubber gasketed piece of aluminum, okay? There's a piece of rubber on here. It's your gasket for the bottom. Well, underneath of this rubber gasket are these two little pegs. These pegs are the legs of the capacitor. I cut them down really tiny, flush, okay? Why? Because then you can simply pop off this plastic dude and it should come off super simple. And you can clearly see your legs, at which time you can just put a little bit of flux on a pad here. There we go. And you can get the piece off, and then you can go back in and clean up the area with a wick or whatever. Get that out of there. There we go. So that way, when you're done, you can just simply put a little bit of flux on there, grab a wick of your choice and go back in with a simple isopropyl alcohol Q-tip yap while I'm doing it. But there you go. You get the idea. That is a fresh pad to put a new cap on, and let me lift it a little bit, and you don't have any damage to your pads. A lot of times people will twist the caps off, or they will try to desolder them. You can use hot tweezers, that's another option, but Lorena doesn't mess around, and she's simple and she's quick. So don't feel bad about using Lorena. I don't go too many at once because if I have a cap in the way here, I'm not going to reach over and try to snip this cap. Number one, I got other things in the way. So just, you know, peel this off. Just the rubber piece. Normally I use a pick, so I can be more careful. And if you notice that you are getting hung up on something, just pause, okay? Go in there and clip it, clip the leg, and get that little nub off, and everything will come off super easy. If it doesn't come off super easy, you are not down far enough, or you left too big of a nub, which is basically the legs. Again, if you do not, the bottom plastic will not come off easy and reveal your pads. So you can do it. It's just, you know, the scary part is cutting the cap, but it's not bad. And you know, whatever makes life easier is usually the best way. So I'm going to continue to snip a couple of these off here, just around the area. Give them a cut. You can cut them high, you can cut them low. You might have to rotate your board a little bit to give yourself enough room to cut your cap, and then you can go through at your own leisure. And that's the whole section up here. You can see I didn't lose a peg. Oh, wrong way. So you can see right here where you at, minus that one cap next to the PCMCI I didn't do. I have all the pads exposed, and this one's been debraided and IPA'd and cleaned, and of course the through holes. Now remember, C460, we never put a cap in there because it didn't have a cap from the factory. It's boring watching somebody recap a board. Noise you're hearing is 3D print job. I'm printing some 3,000 tower feet. Thank you, Mr. Darren, for using your brain, which I do not have the capability of doing that. Maybe I do, I really don't need another skill. And making those 3,000 tower feet. Much appreciated. My tower here and the repair from Mr. Jack will thank you. 5:42 p.m. Okay, 6 o'clock, you can tell by the big pile of mess. All the caps are out. The pan in the butt one was this one down here. I could have removed the keyboard connector, but I never do. I just give it a snip and out she comes. Didn't lose a single trace. Boop, here is your cleaned up area. As you can see, I had a little bit of damage here, but nothing that a good cleaning, some flux and a hot iron and a braid couldn't take care of. One of the more crusty, a little bodge water, up 3. One of the little more crusty areas is up here near the floppy power and the drive light. You can see that one leaked pretty bad, and it is crusty around this area. And this 745 looks like it's a 794 LS 86 Alpha. Looks like it's pretty ate up. But watch this. We're just going to simply clean this area after I've braided it and it's been fluxed, and we'll go over everything. We can fiberglass pen stuff and just give it a good how you doing. You'll see your Q-tip is going to be gross, but the area itself is clean. There's a little bit of etching on the cross where the pad touches. Other than that, she's good to go. The chip here does have some greening on it, so that can be addressed with a fiberglass pen. I'll try and do this on an angle. There we go, backwards. I can fiberglass this, and you'll see it start to white ash. That's because that is the fiberglass coming off. And I'll do this pad too so you can see how it brightens it up. I'm going to now just alcohol this. You'll get material out, your Q-tip will turn color, and you can see the pad next to it here I'm working on now becomes nice and bright. The color of the Q-tip indicates I'm getting the sludge out, and then everything is groovy. Once this dries, the greening is now off of the pins. You can re-tin these if you needed to. Another alternative once they're clean is to hit them with a contact cleaner, something in the spray can variety, which I can also show. For example, just give it a break on that. With that contact cleaned up, I'm going to zoom into the part right here in the center of your screen that was totally green before, and this is the maximum my camera can do, and you can see it is clean, clear, well, not clear, shiny and clean even in between the pins, and it turned out real nice. You will see a little bit of copper right there in between the open spot and this pin. That is because fiberglass pens are abrasive. So cover that up with some clear fingernail polish or solder mask, your choice. Right now the idea is to just continue that over all of the areas that have question. You can even fiberglass pen pads if you wanted to. I could fiberglass pen this exact same pad. If you had some scuzz on it, you'll see it will come really bright. You can see that it is, well, this is still nasty and wet, but I'll wipe it with that. There we go. It's super clean and would take some solder nicely. That's just a little small tip for some recapping stuff. I know a lot of people don't share the info, but if you take your time, it's not that bad. So here on the bottom of the board, near the floppy connector, we're zoomed in here. This is your 12-volt signal. Goes right down here to this ferrite bead here. It's a 200 ohm. Shoots on over to this little ceramic capacitor, and then jumps to pin 23. All is well, but there is another blown out, oh you can't see it, another blown out ferrite bead right here that should look like this one, but isn't there. Fried most of the trace. Luckily this little dot that you can barely see at the tip of this pointer is still connected. So I'm going to replace this 200 ohm with another ceramic, and that will bring the disc change back to pin 2 here on VCC. 12 volts is power right here on pin 23 off of this guy, so you can always cheat and kind of. But that is where I'm at, and that is so friggin' small. Yes, this is 1994 technology, but there you go. It's tiny.
That's what she said.
These eyes, even with the helmet of Goober, yeah. So that's where I'm at. All components that need to be off the board are off the board, and I can finally start recapping. 6:24 p.m. Saturday evening. I found an Amiga kit, 1200 capacitor kit for 1200. They wrote A, E, F. I don't know what that's for. Maybe they had a map. 7 o'clock. And recap is done. Got all brand new caps in. Use the Amiga kit. Very easy to follow. I don't know about all the numbers and stuff. They were like C and H and E and B. That must be for a map that they provide. You can just take pictures with your phone and look at the numbers, the values, and there you go. That's what I do. And bip, and then I can. Pictures are free, you know. Anywho, everything came out fine. No bad issues. No lifted pegs. No broken traces. I am going to now fix that ferrite bead. Similar value. It's 200 in there. I'll double check it on Amiga PCB Explorer. That's amigapcb.org. Lifesavers, if you guys are part of that. Thank you for everything you do. There's a PayPal donation button for them. I'll fire them a few bones for always helping me out. Guess I gotta go get the parts. They're over. So mid-flight, I ran out of memory card. Ferrite bead. Shot it full of solder to re-tin both sides. Did a continuity check, and she touches. Therefore, it's good. I cleaned it up. It's back in action. So I'm gonna clean all this up. Okay, here we go. No floppy drive, so this might take like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't know. This is a USB hub. We're going to be using the camel toe mouse. Yep, that's why I call it the camel toe. Let's turn it on. I'm going to grab a Gotek. This might take a few seconds. Let's see. I'm just going to pull the camera up here. Yeah, 314 ROM, so we'll see. Sorry if the chair bumped into the camera there. Where's my Gotek? Okay, got a Gotek. This will tell me if the floppy port is working. 314 takes forever and a day. No floppy. Bada bing. Cool. Let me turn it off. This is a new power supply, by the way. We're going to plug in my Gotek. If we get power to the Gotek, my fix was successful. Yay! We have floppy. Alright, we're going to use a USB keyboard. We're going to check out this dim sum. Alright, let's test out this keyboard thing. Turning it on, double mouse button. I have a scroll lock and a num lock locked. Hey, crazy man, it's freaking 11:45 p.m. I haven't been working on this for a while. I had to convert a PC floppy drive to an Amiga DF0 because I didn't have any, so I got another Alps. It's best to let this run until like 3, 4, 5, whatever, because the checkerboard, the randomness, doesn't mean it hits 100% all the time. I'm gonna do something about this right now. I have some oil for these things, and I'm gonna put some on this damn camera right in here. Oh, you know what? It helped a little bit. Cool. Now it doesn't squeak as much. Alright, so while that was farting around, we did our 5.2. It means the RAM is good. Floppy drive, DF0, it's a converted PC drive, so we're just going to do a head calibration test. 11 of 11, cylinder 40, and you can see here the head move, so I'm going to do a 79, 0, 40, 79, they're all okay. Reseek the cylinder, 0, reseek, cylinder 40, reseek. Yeah, this is really working good. 11 of 11. Cool. So, hey, it didn't squeak. Awesome. Op amp's working good. We got audio. Hey, I bought $100 worth of CIAs from Analogic in the United Kingdom. I fixed the floppy drive. Okay, so I had one of these things go bad. You see that? Yeah, that little ferrite bead thing. Well, it's down there somewhere forever now. Bye-bye! 314 kickstart, AG NTSC, 60 Hz, sound's working. We're flip to 50, there we go, we're in PAL, flip it back to 60. Real official, Amiga OS disk, DF0. Install 314. Booting from DF0. This is also blinking. Blip, blip, blip. Did like all of these suddenly go bad? That's why it won't boot. It saw it and got 11 of 11 on a GoTech. This is a follow-up in the repair video for Mr. Jack's A1200. I was having some problems before getting external floppies to read and all this crazy crap, and I thought, oh my god, my CIAs are bad even though they test okay. So I went out and bought 40 53-pin sockets that fit those CIA chips. I also spent $150 at analogic.co.uk because you boogers charged me 30 quid to ship 2 chips that big that you also charged me like $50 for each, so really bad. And then taxes and crap. Not good, Analogic, not good. Ripping people off when shipping. Anywho, I let it sit forever, fired it back up without the USB keyboard attached. The sum thing is still in there. And now, all of a sudden, it just started working with no errors. This is a 314 build, 128 megabyte compact flash card I am building for an image for this thing. But I wasn't sure it was going to work, so I got my other one out, and then I got my other one out with a 32 gig Extreme, which I'm going to test. I'm going to turn this off. We have sysinfo in the drive I'm removing. I'm going to remove this entire little hard drive thing and put my own in. We'll see if this thing loads it. If it loads it, that's awesome. I'm going to partition this card if it works. You know why it's not going to work? Because the floppy power is not connected to it. 30 gig, it freaking sees it. Can you believe that crap? I am preparing a card on this. I'm going to pause you guys, finish this build of WinUAE, and I think I don't have my floppy on turbo, so it's nice and fast. And then we're going to try that card on here. While it was in UAE, I added some tools like Opus, Directory Works, my go-to, couple things, Fat95, your mom, etc. Hitting the button, we still have DF1 plugged in external. I don't see anything, so I'm going to do the right thing, and we're going to remove this adapter and just go like that. We're going to use the one that I used to use on my Amiga 600, which doesn't require anything. It literally just sits over the port and presses down. It has its own set of lights. Here we go. Green light. Monitor. I hear floppies. I see nothing. Did I bump something? Oh no, there's the monitor. There's workbench. Okay, great. So this adapter is defective, so we'll just not worry about that. Here's my WinUAE build of 3.1.4 because this ROM is a 314 ROM in here. And the most important part of this endeavor was, number one, do I have compact flash? I have pre-copied the CF0 to this. Don't know if it's the right one. Forgot compact flash device. I should just wear the helmet of Goober all the time. Apparently I need it. There she is. 4 gig compact flash. Let's just grab Hippo Player and drag it over to DH1. 5:05 p.m. So it's reading the disc now instead of writing it. There's Amiga Explorer. Great. So we're going to boot off of this again. So here's empty in DF0. Amiga Explorer. All day long. No read errors at all. Great. So this thing's broke, just not working. This works totally fine. I fixed the external drive. The external drive did not work at all before. Now it has power. It's providing power and it works fine. Amiga life. Long hours. So this adapter is just a big piece of dookie. The drives are working fine, and a logic probe isn't really going to tell me anything except if you drop stuff on the floor or not. Is it low or high? I keep the silicone tip because it's a sharp needle and I always impale myself. But Mr. Jack, your 1200 is working again where it wasn't. Now you got all brand new caps, Rubicon, Nichicon, Panasonic, and my Vampire HD adapter for now. Hey guys, it's been about a week. I got Mr. Jack's 1200 finished here, and my moronic self had my jumpers both set to DF. I had a DF0 and a DF1, and then I had a DF1 and a DF1, and it didn't work out, so I fixed the jumper and it just started working. So now I have a floppy drive or a Gotek. Right now it's unplugged. I have the SD card, 32 gig, to IDE. I'm using the Amiga Kit A1200 flash RAM expansion, the one with the where you can switch the little soft kicked ROM. Right now I'm in a 314. This is the official software that I bought for my period, and as you can see on the screen, we are a basic 314 build. Now DF0 unreadable because it's not hooked up. I made a 2 gig system partition. DH1 is 8, DH2 is 9, and DH3 is just about 10. It's a 32 gig card. I figured that should be enough to get you rolling with whatever you want to toss on there. You can put this in WinUAE and fill it up full of goodies, and then just simply pop the card out and you're done. And this Amiga Kit A1200 8 meg flash RAM expansion is a really nice card if you are looking for something. It has an FPU on it at 4 billion megahertz, 40 megahertz, and 40 megahertz clock crystal, and FPU's on. 8 megs of RAM. You can set jumpers for 5 or 4 or off for your PCM-CIA compatibility. And you can turn the flash off or on. Right now I had it in the off position because I was just plugging it in for the RAM. And you can turn the flash on, you can run the flash utility. I've done a video on it before, so Amiga Kit A1200 8 meg flash expansion card from Amiga Kit. Really inexpensive for this thing, and you can run WHD load all day long on these cards. Perfect for your base model Amiga 1200, and it gives you an FPU, so you can do some cool stuff if you didn't do the FPU on the board like I showed in the past. But Mr. Jack's A1200 lives again. We're all fixed up. New caps. Fixed the doohickey thing on the bottom of the capacitor and the ferrite bead for the external floppy. That now functions because we had the go check. I did test it with my floppy offline. She works great. Everything is cool. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I hope you learned something.